Welcome to a brand new episode of Undisputed Anime. This is your one-stop shop for anime news, recommendations, and reviews sometimes, actually. We've done a lot of reviews recently, haven't we?
We have indeed.
I'm your host, Zane Taicho, your captain of recommendations. And as always, I'm joined by the fantastic man, the legend of 100 manga manhwas, Susu Day. How are you, good sir?
It is apparently sunny, which is it's great when you're outside, but when it's shining in through the window, it's
it's giving you that beautiful, that moment in anime where everything's all at lost moment, and then there's that bright light, and then the hero looks up, and then it's like the real MC arrives.
That's it. That's it.
You're in that moment, but continuously right now.
Just bring it down to me.
Just need a cloak to do that whoosh. To do that tiny cut.
If only. I'm still in the camp of we need to normalize cloaks and capes again. I want to live in a world where I don't have to put my arms into sleeves when it's cold. I want to just be able to pull on a cloak and walk out into the snow and the winds.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna expose myself a little bit here, but in the winter, in the house, I do like to wear a poncho.
I wouldn't say I wear a poncho, but I do something very similar with a blanket, and I don't just have the blanket on my shoulders. I actually you clip it so it actually falls over your shoulders like a cloak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd like to walk around my house like a weary king.
I always think of Sasuke in that movie where he has the turban and the poncho.
Oh, in the last, yeah.
Yeah. When he saves Kakashi.
Casually cutting down a meteorite. Just like it's nothing.
Who knew the Shitori was so OP? Who knew? Who knew?
Kakashi created a monster when he taught him that move.
A child at that move.
Yeah, he basically gave a child an AK-47. And then that child then used the AK-47 as the basis to create an atomic bomb.
Wild. We are off track a little bit here because today's episode we are going to talk about the summer breeze that is spring that is coming through. So we're going to give you some recommendations of the spring lineup. But before all of that, as always, we're going to give you some anime news. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark VPN, who have given me, now get this, 83% off plus 3 months free. So if you've been meaning to pick up a VPN, now might be the time. Surfshark is a trusted VPN to help you protect your privacy online. Whether that's protecting yourself from malicious websites or if you're in a public Wi-Fi connection, you can keep your information locked down. Surfshark's clean web feature blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing attempts, allowing you to surf the web safely. Plus, it lets you change your virtual location. So if there's an anime on Netflix that's not available in your country, but say in Japan, guess what? You're in Japan now. You want to use BBC iPlayer to watch all of Doctor Who. So pick up Surfshark using the link in the description down below and use the code Undisputed Anime, and you'll get 83% off and 3 months free. Check it out. There's some big anime news this week. Well, not just this week, in the last couple of days alone. So let me
bring it all
bring it all through. So kicking things off, Undead Unluck will have its own series come October, being produced by Studio David. Oh, David Productions, I should say. For those who aren't familiar, David Productions are more famous, I'd say, for the JoJo series, as well as, I want to say, Fire Force as well, if memory serves me correctly. But how do you feel about this? You excited to see Undead Unluck?
Well, as I was saying to you and our pal,
Mm.
I have never been able to get into the manga of it. I don't know what it is. There's just something that has not captured me in the way that a lot of mangas do. Usually I'll read a couple of chapters and I'm like, this is this has got a lot of potential, and I will push through.
Mm.
But for this, I was kind of like, I read a couple of chapters, I was like, this is not interesting to me at all, which is sad.
Yeah, it's crazy as well because I remember this being one of those series that's in Shonen Jump, and there was so many new series coming through, but then cancelled. Like Phantom, is it Phantom Seer? Phantom Seer. There was the Red Hood one I really liked. There was just so many that was coming out and getting axed. Before it even got to like 12 chapters. Yet
Yeah,
somehow this one survived, and it's, dare I say, I want to say it's like over 100, maybe even 200 chapters deep. Um, so yeah, it's crazy how popular it is, but it feels kind of slept on in the same way. I never hear anyone talk about it, but it seems to be doing really well to survive the
yeah,
Shonen
it's like
Jump canon.
151 chapters. So
Okay,
or at least that's what's shown on Shonen Jump's website. So
right, yeah. So yeah, it's I'm definitely going to give it a try because it seems to be a staple for a while, and it must be a staple for a good reason. So yeah, I think
people like what they
definitely.
like. So I mean, my opinion, like kind of like is hushed away because of like it's obviously good because
Mm, it has an audience. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Uh, in other news, I knew this one would excite you. I'm kind of annoyed that you texted just before we started recording in our group chat, but a returner's magic should be special. A manhwa is receiving an anime adaptation, which
It's another banger.
uh, what surprised me, this is going to be a Crunchyroll original. So we've
I
already
mean,
got.
to be fair, they did a cracking job with God of High School and
Mhm.
Tower of God. So I mean, it's really and like I said to you just before the show, this is it's a it's got a really as a story, it's
Yeah.
really well placed to be an anime. It's got like the kind of right story structure to kind of be adapted like that without any effort.
It looks
So
good. The artwork looks really good, really clean.
yeah,
As
and it's a very like very good story of a character who you can tell will be powerful but isn't actually powerful. Like
okay,
he's like the whole premise behind him is he's a wizard, but he's like one of the lowest classes of wizards. But as a result of the things that happen in the story, it's like the end of the world. He gets sent back in time. He's obviously
time
got
travel.
what makes him more powerful is the
Mm.
fact that he's got knowledge of what will happen, and he's able to kind of like get a head start on everything that he started late on in the previous iteration of the life.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, it's very good, very good.
I'm excited because I'm not only, as you mentioned before, have we had just a little taster of manhwa originally with God of High School and Tower of God, but we seem to be suddenly getting a second wave with this, and of course Solo Leveling, which we will talk about it a little bit. But nice segue. Check out Susu Day's recommendation of a manhwa that we did a couple of weeks ago. Very popular episode, by the way.
Would you believe
Congratulations.
it? A Returner's Magic should be special was not on my list. But it is exceptional. It's very good. I don't know why it slipped off my radar when I was making that list. To be fair, there's just I read so many.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it was a great list for those who want to jump into the world of manhwa. Um, this next news article really surprised me. So, excuse the my pronunciation, but Mato Senhi, No Slave, got a new key visual, and the anime series will start January 2024. Um, I've read a few chapters of this, mainly because it's the same mangaka or manga author from Akiri
Akame
Ga
no Kill.
Akami no Kill,
Oh,
sorry.
nice. Okay, okay. Looks good.
Yeah, so I've read a few chapters of this. It's kind of our MC gets not so much teleported to another world, but there's a demonic world that they try to hold back the horde of demons and such. And in that world, um, he's almost like a he's treated like as a slave, like a someone who does all the housework and cleaning in this particular barrack with all these other women who are defenders against the sort of
The
onslaught of
demonic
demons.
horde.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, the artwork is really good. It's really fun. It's kind of your classic sort of harem. I can't even speak
Harem
today.
battle anime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch because I liked the couple of chapters I've read of this.
I might have to give it a read. It looks good, and I really did like. I really enjoyed Akame no Kill.
Mm.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the anime so much, but manga was absolutely like cracking.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It has its own little following, that series. Like there's
yeah,
so many people still faithful to it, even now.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's the same with everything. It's like what's like top tier for one person isn't top tier for others.
Mm,
So just how it be.
exactly, exactly. Uh, the next thing I wanted to bring up with you is exciting news. The Black Clover Sword of the Wizard King has a new trailer. The worldwide streaming begins on Netflix in June 17th. Sorry, June 16th this year.
Nice, nice. I'm guessing that this is being done as a separate thing.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just like I'm looking at it just now, and this isn't canon.
I thought it would
unless
be
I
canon.
unless I have missed an entire arc, that is I don't recognize half of those characters they're fighting. So
Okay, a classic sort of OVA outside
yeah,
of continuity. I got you.
which would probably make more sense as to why Netflix has it.
Mm.
Because
I mean, yeah,
it struck me as odd. It struck me as odd that Netflix would have it.
yeah, that's true. Um, have the exclusivity of it, even
Mm,
though it's still the series is still streamed on Crunchyroll, right?
yes, Crunchyroll still got it. So again, though, this could be like another case of like Disney and Bleach. It could be just a matter of
Mm.
Netflix has thrown a colossal amount of money to stay in play.
Yeah, it's not a bad
So
idea. Yeah.
so yeah, it's difficult though.
It is tricky.
I just want all my anime in one place. You know this. I don't want to.
But how do you want your solo leveling? Because solo leveling is scheduled for winter 2024.
So it's still
So
a long way off.
mm, still a little time to wait, but as you mentioned before, there was a trailer earlier this week, I believe, and the trailer was really good. It really squashed any sort of doubts I had about the look and presentation.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that the initial teaser that we got when it was announced
mm,
left a lot to be desired. But having now seen um, this latest trailer, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far.
yeah,
Um, they've obviously done a lot of justice to the characters. So they got the smile on the statue perfect. Like
yeah.
honestly,
Colors look identical as well. to the
Yeah,
manhwa.
so I'd be very interested. What I'm interested to see is how they adapt the story, because I know it's
Mm.
already been said that it's going to be an adaptation of it,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I don't think it's going to be one for one with the anime. It might actually follow more closely with what they've done, because they've obviously adapted it to novel and like manga. So it could be, you know.
It's true.
So, but yeah, I'm looking. I think it'll be good regardless of how it holds up against the base material. Because I
Yeah.
mean, the base material is just probably one of my favorite things I've read in years. Like
Mhm.
I'm still enjoying reading it now. Like I've actually just restarted reading it. So
I everyone I know who's read it always goes through a second read, at least a second read.
well, I think
Um,
that when you're reading it the first time around, you'll kind of do it. It's like when you're reading the manga. It's like you're reading it. You're getting a new chapter every week. You get a new
mm,
chapter every week, and you're kind of like drip fed this incredible story over a long period of time. And what I really like about manhwa, especially when I start a new one, is I like being able to read like 100 chapters or something all in one go. I like just being able to go for it.
yeah, yeah.
So to be able to read Solo Leveling all the way through from start to where it currently
Mhm.
is great. So
Talking about where things are at the moment, we got confirmation that My Hero Academia season 7 is in production.
what? No
So
way. What? It's not even that popular. Like, who even watches My Hero Academia?
you're such a troll sometimes. Um, yeah, I think this is great news, mainly because season 6 it's had a rocky start, but I feel like when it went into the dark
Yeah.
Deku arc, it's really picked up a lot of steam. Like a lot of people tweeting about it and showing clips on TikTok and stuff. So yeah, I feel like it's really gone into a second gear with the
I
second
think
half.
that I think that a problem that a lot of people have is that you've got a split between people who watch and read, and you've
Mm,
got people who only watch. So I
hmm.
get the feeling that there's probably a lot of people who only watch who go into the current season and they don't expect it to slow down quite as much as it does
Yeah, yeah,
before it gets into all this like crazy dark like anti-hero Deku stuff.
yeah.
You know?
There is the element of that. There's also the conversation on how they handled the whole villain arc as well, um,
Mm,
because they've really chopped it up and changed it in some bits. Because uh, during the fight, well, you know the dabby dance moment. So
mhm,
just after that, Compressor and the lizard guy, I can't remember his name now. They have a flashback, and it flashes back to the beginning of the villain arc where they start beating up cults and taking their money and jewelry and stuff to fund their enterprise, before they get found by the doctor. So again, it really chops it up into and sprinkles it into weird parts. But I guess it's
it doesn't surprise me that it's a bit all over the place with that
mm,
particular art, because of as is common knowledge now, um, the mangaka had intended for the villain arc to go on for much longer in the manga, but people just were not
oh
interested in it.
wow, I didn't know
But
that.
is that yeah? I'm pretty sure that that's what the case was. I think that the villain arc was meant to be a much bigger thing
Yeah.
in the manga, but because of like popularity polls and stuff like that, obviously they do week on week like how well stuff is doing.
Mm.
I think that the manga's popularity like dropped during that, so he brought it to a close a lot sooner.
Makes sense. I can see that.
I'll
It
find a
does.
source on that. I would like to make sure that I am not just talking out my ass. Um,
That's fair. As you do a little fact check, I am just going to remind you and the rest of the community that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has a new key visual, which sees Gojo in his younger years and Gato. Um, I am so excited for Season 2. I cannot
same.
wait for Season
It's
2 to come back.
looking absolutely wild.
We
It's
also
good.
had a
I'm
teaser trailer
so
as well, didn't we?
yes, indeed. It's great. It's looking real good. Well, I can't find my source, so take what I said with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I'm under the impression that it was meant to be a longer arc in the manga, or at least it was meant to proceed in a very different way. But because of
Mm.
reception, it didn't get proceeded in the way that they wanted. So,
Yeah, I'm with you.
if I find out, I'll share it with you, and you can share it to the. You can share it on the pin it in the
Yeah.
comments or something like that.
Yeah, all the socials.
Yeah.
My last bit of news. I know it was a pretty big segment this week, but I thought it was worth showing. Oh no, that's me. That's the one I want. There we go. Gitama is getting a new anime adaptation.
So I saw. But what I'm unclear of is this like an actual completely separate to the main Gintama story? I'm guessing
I'm not 100% sure. I
because
thought, oh no,
I've seen a lot of promo material for it where like you've got the characters dressed up as like the protagonists from other anime,
mm,
but I'm not sure if they're if they're redoing the anime or if this is going to be like a completely separate thing.
so Senpai Sources here says series 3 NZ Gummy is getting an anime adaptation, a spin-off series when Gintama characters are depicted in a school setting.
Oh, okay. That so it's complete as a separate thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Feels like years since I've last seen any of that series.
Yeah, I feel like Gintama is one of those series as well where I just couldn't keep up with. I started reading it and I really struggled to continue to keep reading because I think that when like the action started, like when the really serious stuff happened, it was like really engaging. But when all the very like in between lighthearted stuff was happening, I just fell off really easily.
Yeah, it's it always surprised me how big it was as well. Like consider it was like a gag sort of anime or manga. It surprised me like how huge it was. And even when I went to Shonen Jump World in Japan, like there was quite a lot of stuff there for it. And I was kind of like, wow, this is bigger than I thought it was.
Sips tea.
So there you go. That's all of the news this week. Shall we jump into spring 2023?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do it. So, as we like to do on this show, we like to have a look at to see what's coming up. Maybe we'll add it to our list, our watching list for that whole season. Susie Day, have you got anything to start us off with?
I mean, that's a pretty strong start right there at the top anyway. Like that's a really strong starting three right there.
Yeah.
So we got Demon Slayer.
Yes.
The Soulsmith Village arc.
Yep.
First episode, great. Can't wait to continue along, especially because I'm currently rewatching with my wife, who is not surprisingly loving it. So
good.
Just about to start Mugen Train.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah. So very fun.
Many ads.
Why are you guys gonna get us cancelled?
I can't even get rid of it, but there we go.
Put the VPN
on. There we go. Yeah, so that's exciting. Dr. Stone, New World. You're a big Dr. Stone fan.
Dr. Stone, New World. I'm looking forward to it. Like Dr. Stone is one of those manga that kind of did exactly what it needed to do. It didn't drag itself out. It kind of did the story up to the point where it needed to, and then it ended. It was perfect. That's in the same way that Demon Slayer did. Demon Slayer obviously didn't try and fill itself out with filler. It didn't try and prolong itself. It literally started the story, had an endpoint, got to the endpoint in the most logical way possible. And that's
Yeah,
exactly what Doctor Stone did. So I'm really looking forward to the new season of Doctor Stone because it's also a very different format in terms of
yeah,
like it's not like your typical battle shonen manga. It's very different.
agreed, definitely. Start date of April 6th, 2023.
Get back on
So
those science, boys.
yeah. So that'd be really good. I didn't mention when Demon Slayer is starting. It's starting on the 9th of April. So yeah,
Fun, fun,
not
fun.
too far away. This one is probably my number one pick, Hell's Paradise. I am really excited for this one.
It's incredible as a manga. So
Mm.
I'm looking forward to seeing it adapted. Absolutely crazy, like it's wild.
And I guess it kind of, we talked about it on one of the very early episodes of the podcast, but this kind of brings together the dark trio,
Mhm.
as some call it in the community. Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen were seen as
Yeah,
the dark trio because it's very demonic based and things of
yeah,
that nature.
a lot of deadening.
Mm.
A lot of not afraid to show some blood or innocence getting murdered.
Absolutely. So yeah, with the start date of the 1st of April. So again, a lot, really excited for that one to begin.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how it's received as well. But typically,
Very true.
you find that stories like this are like usually well received, especially if the animation really stays true to
Mm.
source material. So
Is there another
keep
one that
mm, yeah, absolutely. We're going to be talking about Mashal, Muscles and Magic.
why should everyone be excited for this one?
Well, for one thing,
Yeah.
for one thing, it is just the most ridiculous story. Um, Absolutely ridiculous. But it's great. It's so fun. It's fun in the same way that like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100 are fun in that it's very lighthearted. I find myself
Mhm.
laughing at like every chapter, but then it's like interlaced with all this very serious, like this very serious plot and stuff.
Okay.
It's like it's such a fun concept, and the idea of this like of the protagonist being born as a human with absolutely no magic ability in a
Mhm.
world, and this isn't like a Black Clover Asta kind of situation. This is like everyone in the world has magic except this one guy, and it's not even so much that he's persecuted; it's like literally like illegal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like he would be locked up for not having magic. uh, but then he gets to go to like basically he's told that if he becomes like I can't remember the exact title, but if he
Mm.
becomes the Wizard King, if he becomes like the best wizard in this wizarding school, like
Yeah.
people will have no choice but to acknowledge him and accept him. So he goes to his wizard school, and he's obviously got no magic, but he manages to overcome every single class, every single task he's given through sheer physical strength. Like I obviously don't want to spoil things, but like there's like stupid stuff like you need to like they learn how to fly their brooms. It's very Harry Potter esque. Like
Mm.
they have a class where they learn to fly brooms. He can't use magic, so he can't get the broomstick to fly, but he's able to get the broomstick to fly by consistently moving his legs to the extent where he like lifts off the ground. Like
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Uh,
yeah,
I'm really excited to see it.
it's gonna be
Because
fun.
yeah, like you said, and just having a quick look, I didn't realize this is being produced by A1 Pictures, who I feel like are making a big comeback this year. Well, this year and next with Solo Leveling. So I think A1's really pushing the boundaries of what they can do. But
Absolutely, and they've obviously had some. They've had some absolute bangers like last couple of years as well. And they're
mm,
obviously responsible for Sword Art, um,
yes,
Fairy Tale, Blue Exorcist.
yeah, all great
So
bangers actually.
they're obviously currently producing still all of, like the Sword Art Online progressive stuff.
hmm
So it's good stuff.
April 8th is when we will
It's going to be
see.
busy month. Is April's going to be.
It really is. I'm trying to think of another one that I saw earlier. I guess we have to talk about Ranking of Kings.
Honestly, this spring is going to be excellent for anime. As you may have seen in previous episodes when we were talking about our predictions for the anime awards,
Mm.
I ranked Ranking of Kings, no pun intended, very, very highly. I expected it to do so much better than it did,
Hmm.
um, which is unfortunate. But obviously, not to say that the things that did win weren't deserving of it. I just found Ranking of Kings to be a completely unique experience all of its own
Yeah,
as far as anime is concerned. And then I encourage you to watch it,
you did.
and
Yeah,
you can corroborate with me now, can't you? You
I
can agree.
100%. Yeah, it was truly a mesmerizing series. The everything about it is just captivating on every level. The art style, the type of animation, the sound effects. It's all just so good,
Yeah.
and they really found the perfect formula with it.
Yeah, really
And
took the underdog story and elevated it. I think like they didn't, and they
100%.
elevated it in like it's not like a very typical like anime manga way that they did that. They elevated it in a very Ghibli way, I'd say.
100%, 100%. I mean,
So
it looks and feels like a Ghibli project
yeah,
from the get go,
absolutely.
which I think is it's not a detriment to it. If anything, it probably opens more doors to it because people like my wife, this is her favorite series now, and this is the only series she started and finished to the end.
That's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, it really is.
Knowing
Besides,
her, that is an incredible feat to be able to keep her
yeah,
attention.
and just again for our audience to give a little content, my wife, anytime she meets someone who watches anime or manga, she pretends that One Piece or Full Metal Alchemist is her favorite. Like she's only seen 10 episodes of One Piece. She's seen up to the part where Usopp is introduced, and that's it.
Next time I see your wife, I'm going to ask her about something that happens like several arcs in.
She'll change the subject to the opening song. How amazing it is.
She wouldn't have even heard the opening song reimagined like 10 years later.
But anyways, yeah,
Ranking of
I'm really
Kings.
Ranking of Kings is going to be amazing. I am so looking forward to it because Wit Studio have done exceptional work with this. April the 14th couldn't come any sooner.
Yeah,
So,
gonna be great.
mm,
I've obviously not read any of the any of the like original material. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm quite happy
mm,
for that because everything about the season one surprised me in such a nice way. Can't wait to
yeah,
see what they do with season two.
same. I'm so looking forward to it. I, yeah, it's going to be fun, real fun.
Mhm.
Um,
We've got Ancient Magus Bride season two, which is up there showing as Mahosuki no Yomi.
yes.
Um, season one has been on Crunchyroll for a very very long time,
Mm,
and it's great. It's a lovely and very sweet magical love story, I guess. It's very hard. It's very hard to place in kind of what it actually is, but I
yeah.
definitely recommend it. It's a very nice story. Um, follows a lot of old English myth, like old UK myth. So you've got like some like Scottish folklore, Welsh folklore, British folklore. It's very, very well done. So
I'm just trying to figure out when the first series came out because no way, 2017.
what long while ago.
Wow.
Definitely
Yeah,
worth a watch.
I've always been curious about it, but it's never pushed the top of my list, if you know what I mean. Like
It's
because there's
beautifully animated. I will say that.
April 6th is when this series starts. But yeah, I might give that a watch. I might squeeze the first season in somewhere because
Try
again, I've always
try and
been.
give it a go. I think this is my personal opinion. Is I think it might be a little bit slower than you'd enjoy.
Mm.
But if you can push through, it's lovely to watch. So
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. It's always intrigued me.
absolutely.
I'm skipping ahead. Let me go back. Anything else that jumps out to you?
Well, obviously, this is not one that I've kept up with, but it's got the following: Eden Zero, and got season 2. Maybe I'll go like so. My problem with like Eden's Zero as a manga is
Mm.
because I've read Blade
Rave Master.
Rave Master. That's it. Because I read Rave Master, and then I've obviously read Fairy Tale, which
Mhm.
are both the same story with a different slap of paint. So I started reading Eden Zero, which again is the same story with a different slap of paint. So I found I wasn't week over week. I wasn't going back to it. Like when there was a new
Okay.
chapter. Maybe
Mhm.
now that there's a lot of it, I will go back and I'll start it again. And
Mm.
maybe off the back of that, I'll be more inclined to watch the anime.
Okay.
Because I do like it. Because I love like the whole sci-fi fantasy
Mm.
like kind of genre. So I would love to love it.
Yeah, I think this is the crazy thing. It's fairy tale in space. There's
Exactly.
there, there's
Same
no
characters.
there's no two ways about it. But I love love this series. I love it so much, and I don't care if no one agrees with me. I don't care if it's like a weird One Piece because everyone says Fairy Tale's like a knockoff One Piece. I don't care. I like it. I really like it.
Well, I love Fairy Tale. That's the thing. I loved Fairy Tale, but I love Dragon Fantasy. To be fair,
Yeah.
so it's got like, and I do like Eden Zero. I've just never been able to stick at it consistently. So for you, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna start reading it again, and then when I finish reading it, I'm gonna watch it.
And here's the thing. The Easter eggs that tie it back to Fairy Tale, where there's people in the background that look like certain characters from Fairy Tale, I mark out every time. I mark out every time because
I
I
have not
love
seen you.
it.
I have not seen you this impassioned about a title for a while.
I can't explain it. I know it's cheesy. I know it's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but I really enjoy this, and I really look forward. I've watched it twice, the first season on Netflix, and I am really excited to see where this
Nice,
story goes.
cool.
The 2nd of April is it's going to be fun, like a McDonald's,
Literally next weekend.
like a little Happy Meal with Happy the cat.
who, funnily enough, plays Happy the cat again.
Oh, I'm a sucker for a gimmick.
We're clearly working. I can't wait until their next series starts, and it's Fairy Tale, but it's set in a high school. It's like a high school drama.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I'll buy that. I'm always I'm always tempted to read the spin-offs of Fairy Tale, but I derail. I shouldn't. I don't have the time. Uh, Anything else that sticks out to you on this list?
Just scrolling down through my mind.
Yeah,
Keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling.
there's a lot of isekai that have already jumped up, by the way, and I don't know. I don't recognize any of them.
I do love isekai, but there is so
Mm.
much isekai around at the moment right now. I don't want to start any more isekai. Just looking through this list out here.
Yeah.
I feel like everything that I'm interested in we've already covered.
Okay.
I know that this actually might have just been better for news rather than spring, because I don't believe it's coming out in spring. But I know that it's been announced that there's going to be a new series of Horimiya, which is a shoujo, like high school anime.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not on this list, so I think that's probably going to be summer or autumn.
Mm.
But I think that I get the feeling that this could be one of those seasons where among these there could be a lot of good,
Hmm.
but it might take for others to watch and suggest before I pick them up, because
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard to be better, be more diligent with my anime watching of late,
Yeah.
because I'm behind on a lot that I don't want to be behind on.
Mm.
So I would very much like to get back to where I was, where I'm watching a lot of anime all the time, because anime's fun. I really enjoy it as an art form. Um, I'd love to see more anime like Trigun Stampede. Just a hint there.
Ooh.
Very much enjoying Trigun Stampede at the moment. So yeah, give it to me. Give it to
I
me.
Just before we wrap up, there's one or two I just want to mention. First one is uh Witcher Mercury season 2. Um I haven't finished season 1.
But you have
I
been
need
enjoying it though, haven't you?
I like what I've seen, yeah. It's just that annoyingly it came out at a time where there was so much good stuff coming out in the winter that meant that it kind of shuffled to the back, because this was out at the same time as Bleach, Chainsaw Man, Blue Lock. Like
Yeah, that's
it,
a lot to compete with.
yeah. So Spy Family. So there was a lot to kind of get through. So yeah, I really need to finish that one and jump on season 2. I've got a bit of time. April 9th is when it starts. So cutting it close, but I'm sure I could squeeze it in.
Who needs to work?
And what was the other one I saw earlier? Psycho Pass Providence. I'm not a huge Psycho Pass fan. I couldn't get into the first one. I may revisit it at some point,
I think
but
I'm in the same boat, especially
mm,
I don't know if this story ever got onto the show, but when we went to see the first Sword Art Online progressive movie, there was
mm,
one other guy in the theater with us,
yes,
and he couldn't speak high enough of Psychopaths. Like
yeah,
he really, really loves Psychopaths. He was like telling us we should watch it. So for him, for our single alone comrades in that theater that night, I feel like I need to.
there's a lot of people who discover it on, like, I think it was on Netflix at one point here in the UK. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people kind of stumbled on it and fell in love with it out of nowhere.
Is that like
Uh,
that dark, like gritty, like
mm,
sci-fi crime, like just short of like cyberpunk esque, isn't it? It's kind of like
Absolutely.
it's kind of like falling into that kind of niche genre of like I say niche, like Ghost in the Shell, like
Mhm.
crime in a future setting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I'm gonna finish Ultraman. I've watched
You
every
love
single.
Ultraman.
Yes, and no. Like, I'm never blown away by this Netflix series, so I don't know why I put myself through it, but I obviously
You
love the
want to love
torture.
it.
Yeah, I want to love it. I think that's what it is. Because I love the art style of the manga so much. So I will prevail and watch it. And the other thing, this little series, Dead Mount Death Play, gives me Death Paradise vibes. I might give it
Huh.
an episode or two.
Does it have a manga?
It does.
It does. I might give the manga a look and give you my opinion on that.
Starts on April the 11th. But yeah, I just from the visual gives me Death Parade vibes. So kind of interested to see what that's like. Maybe one or two episodes. Don't know if I'll stick it out.
Tell you what, I have a question for you,
Mm.
based solely on the fact that you mentioned Ultraman just now, because I know you love the whole Sentai kind of genre of
Hmm.
media. How do you feel, and will you be watching Power Rangers once and always?
I will be watching it.
How are you feeling about it? Original Power Rangers cast.
Yeah, I. Mm, I, no. I'm not sure is probably the easiest answer because it wasn't until I watched the trailer it gave me the idea that Zach is the leader of the team, which I was like, that's amazing. I really love that idea because one of my favorite action figures, which is kind of like a weird, a weird thing, is the Black Ranger, but with the Green Ranger shield, the chest shield armor
Oh
plate.
yeah.
You can get that as an actual figure because there was that one episode where he needed the armor to heal him. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of interested to see what they'll do.
For
It just looks
nostalgia, it's gonna
mm,
be it'll be great. I don't think it'll be Forever Red,
no, no, I don't think so
because
either.
Forever Red was a spectacle.
Mm, yeah, the same with the OG Power Rangers movie. I I don't think it would reach that level, but
Yeah,
it just looks like a really, really good, well-produced episode.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be something.
Mm.
It's gonna be something that's easy to put on Netflix one day when you're tired from work.
Yeah, yeah, just to switch your brain off
And
and
if it's amazing, that'll be a wonderful surprise. Because I would
absolutely.
love it if Sentai was like a bigger deal in the West. Because honestly, I love I love it. I don't watch it ever, but the
Mm,
idea of it is just so good. I loved Ranger Reject. I'm really enjoying reading. No, sorry, I loved Samurai Flamenco, and
yes.
I'm really enjoying Ranger Reject as a manga. Um, so I really do love the format of it. I think it's super fun.
Oh yeah, I love the lore behind it as well. Like the comic book series has done amazing stuff. I love all different variations. Like there's a bootleg version. I don't know if you've seen that before. A bootleg Power Rangers, which was produced by I think his name's Abe something another. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's an amazing live action trailer. Um, and then there's the original Power Rangers, the Sentai version, as you mentioned, where the Green Ranger and the Red Ranger are brothers.
Yeah,
Um,
that was Super Sentai.
I think so, but yeah, I love all shapes and forms of it. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
it's so fun because it doesn't take itself seriously at all, which is what's so great about it. It's so cheesy, but it's so good. It's
Some of
like every like little kid's like hero fantasy like
yeah,
played out with no shame at all.
no, no, and some of the designs are just amazing. Like the original Green Ranger's saber, it's just so beautifully
You
designed
mean
sword.
the saber that is also no? That's I'm thinking about the White Ranger,
The
aren't I?
dagger. No,
The dagger, yeah.
yeah, you're on the right lines, but he also had a longer sword, but it was like a wave sort of shape
Mm.
with a red sort of tassel. Beautiful design sword. Anyways, I'm probably tangenting
Yeah,
off.
well, like this is a big tangent. Like, I was just interested after you said talked about Ultraman, like whether or not like you had any thoughts about the new episode of Power Rangers that will be coming out. But I digress.
No, I don't mind the digression over here. I love a good mech series. Me, anything that sprinkles a bit of mech, I'm involved.
Mhm.
I guess that's the episode.
Let me just make sure there's nothing else that we're supposed to be talking about. Yeah, I think yeah, we got it for everything. I've got
I
nothing
think we've
left on my.
touched. Beautiful. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know in the comments down below. We want to know what you watching this season. Are you still watching anything from last season? And if so, let us know. Get in touch.
Honestly, if there's anything, if you were watching and you were looking at that list, that page as we were looking at it, if there's anything on there that we didn't touch on that you think that you're excited about, that you think is worth us checking out, please let us know, because I love finding new stuff, even if I've never got the time to watch it.
Absolutely. All the relevant links will be in description below. So if you want to check us out on our social media, feel free to check out the descriptions. As always, thank you to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this episode. I am going to have to use it to get around to watching Hunter x Hunter, because I started that out of the blue and I haven't picked
Yeah,
up.
you need to stick on that, otherwise you'll never get back to it. You'll have to start again if you leave it too long.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I need to get back to that. But otherwise, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll no doubt catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.